I'd like to call this meeting to order, please. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, announcements. First of all, there are some people who are excused from this evening's meeting. That is Councilor Tom Koenig, Eileen Cabanal, Paul McCauley, and we are honored to have in their stead Kyle Fox, who's thrilled to be here. Kyle Fox is the Director of Public Works, right? Okay. I do want to take this opportunity to be able to do some thank yous regarding the Amherst Road completion. I think DPW, including the Highway Division, especially we have Dawn Tuamala, who is the Deputy Public Works and Town Engineer. She has to get special kudos, right? She was there every day pushing them. Let's move it, let's move it. Obviously, Kyle as well, who oversaw the whole thing, and the police department, who's very helpful in helping with the traffic and the diversion of traffic. And I know there are continuing discussions about stop signs and keep the police there and all the rest of it, but that's for the police department to discuss. And also the company itself, CSSI, especially the owner, Connie Halavatsis. Everyone worked together, and it was exemplary. And I want to thank all those people on behalf of all the town. You know, again, it was shovel ready, and we were prepared. We were able to. I mean, I don't think the town really recognizes that we were going to do this, but it was going to be in August. So a lot of the prep work had already been done, and so when it came time, when in the early spring rains, it really started to disintegrate very quickly. We were able to respond, and all the pieces fit together. But there were a lot of modifications and twisting of arms, and Kyle and Dawn were able to do that. So it worked out well. So although it was painful, the citizens did a really good job dealing with it. We didn't have a choice. And everybody did their job and got it done as quickly as possible. So thank you to everyone. Okay. Other announcements. The council meets only once a month in July and August. The next meeting of the town council will be August 17th on a Thursday at 7 p.m. here in the Matthew Thornton Room. Then we go back to September. We're back to our regular schedule of twice a month. So the first September meeting will be Thursday, September 14th at 7 p.m. here in the Matthew Thornton Room. Another regular meeting on Thursday, September 28th at 7 p.m. and also Thursday, October 12th, again, 7 p.m. here in the Matthew Thornton Room. Are there any announcements, Kyle?
Yeah, just one quick announcement. The Merrimack Police Department and Parks and Recreation Department are once again teaming up to celebrate National Night Out at Abbey Griffin Park on Tuesday, August 1st from 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. There will be fun and games, and the Parks and Rec Department will be holding a free movie night showing the movie Moana, which will begin at 8:30 p.m. Please join us and be part of this community event.
That's it, right? That's it. Excellent. Okay, PFOA update, nothing at present. Highway Garage Project update, Jackie?
Yes, well, the Highway Building Committee is pleased to announce that the selection of a construction management firm to complete our team as we move forward into the detailed design of the project. 8 firms submitted qualifications packages for the construction management portion of the projects. Of those, 4 firms were interviewed by the committee, and we were pleased to have Turnstone Corporation of Milford, New Hampshire as our partner for the project. Turnstone completes our team, which includes the building committee and H.L. Turner as the engineer architect for the project. We'll participate in a kickoff meeting next week, Wednesday morning, and look forward to the plans for the new building coming together.
Excellent, thank you very much. Okay, comments from the press or public? Just make sure you push the button. Nope.
You can now.
Yeah, and name and address, please.
Correct. Dave Quimby, 2 Kyle Road, Merrimack. Except during the summer, I live on Brundage Way in Veterans Park. Chairman Harrington and council members, I'm going to read to you a letter that I read to the Park and Rec Committee on April 19th, so you're in tune with what's going on. I am here on behalf of the Lake Natticook Conservation Association, okay? So the association is dedicated to maintain and improve the quality, safety, and access of Lake Natticook for all to enjoy. The association appreciates the town's recent investment to improve access for boating visitors and users of the boat ramp at Veterans Park. The improvements address some of our water quality and storm runoff concerns while also greatly improving access to the lake for the boating public. In anticipation of an increase in boating traffic this season, our Board of Directors recommends that the Park and Rec Committee consider reposting the park rules adopted when Veterans Park was opened. One rule that our membership recalls being posted in the past that aligns with rules typically posted at State of New Hampshire-owned boat ramps to reduce potential boat ramp access conflict is no swimming at the boat ramp. The Lake Natticook Conservation Association recognizes that the Park and Rec Committee must balance all uses of our parklands for the enjoyment of all. We offer this suggestion in anticipation of increased boat traffic potentially conflicting with other park users loitering in the water in the boat ramp. I'm here asking the town council to discuss this issue and expedite the process of posting the park rules where they can be seen by all users of Veterans Park and the boat ramp to ensure the safety of all.
Okay.
Okay?
Hold on a second, let me make a clarification first, and then I'll open it up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just to let the council know, because I know you're going to come and speak, which is absolutely fine,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted to make sure we had all the facts additionally as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's correct, on the 19th of April, you did present that. I'm going to remind the council, we are in the middle of revising the town codes, 142. Parks and Rec has submitted already to Eileen Cabinal suggestions from Parks and Rec,
Mm-hmm.
and that is one of the suggestions that's on there, okay? Which we will deliberate when the revisions are completed and brought before the council for consideration. Okay, so just to be able to give you that backup information. So go right ahead, ask any questions, or
I'm open for questions.
Peter?
Yes.
David, now, there's currently no sign there, is what you're saying.
There is no sign talking about no swimming at the boat ramp, and there are no park rules posted in the park.
I know that I wasn't on the park, I'm now on the Parks and Rec Committee, representing the council, and I know we had a meeting, this came up in discussion, I think, at our last meeting. Matt was there, and I know there is discussion of having a sign and posting that. Again, it's like the chairwoman has said that, we have to have these ordinances approved at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So that is being addressed.
I will tell you, the police officer that's assigned to go through Veterans Park has been doing a much better job. I think they're paying attention to try to enforce park rules because we've talked about it a little bit. So he gives warnings to people to get out. The issue is, if there's people swimming at the boat ramp, he can't say anything. And then if we got late in the evenings, especially Sunday and Monday nights, it's really weird, it happens on Sunday and Monday nights, but we get the yahoos who decide they're going to open the boat up and cruise as fast as they can in the little nook by the boat ramp. And the police can't do anything about that either because that's fish and game. So, my issue, because I watch this, I can sit on the porch and I can watch this every single night, is that we have some close calls. And we had a close call on Tuesday night, and the police officer was there and was able to observe this. But I'm concerned because the town could open itself up for litigation, if we don't do something quick, so.
Okay. So I think one is being addressed.
Okay.
I guess is what I want to respond to you.
Okay.
That the Parks and Rec heard you
Yep.
in their submission of recommended changes to the code. It's incorporated in that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this here for any council member who'd like to see it. But basically, it's saying, lastly, we are recommending that a new section be added which addresses the swimming and talks about the veterans. Okay?
Now, just as a resident, is there any idea when this could be resolved? Is this something that's going to take 3 months or,
Well, it's not.
because it's been 3 months so far. So I'm trying to figure
Well,
out.
I literally only heard about this last week. So you've been working on it with Parks and Rec, but the council has only become aware of it. I just became of it last week. I'm not
And
sure
I,
if
and I
any
had
of
just to clarify, I did send an email 3 weeks ago, so,
Two.
to you, actually. So I went on the town website,
I'll
and it
have to
said send,
double-check.
send email, and so I sent you email.
I'll have to double check that. I
Because I've been checking
apologize.
in with Matt to see if it ends up on the agenda here or not.
If that's
So,
accurate, then I apologize for
That's
not
okay.
responding.
That's okay, that's why I'm
But-
here.
well,
Because
all
I've
the-
been talking to everybody, trying to figure out who I can talk to
Well,
get
it's funny
this
because
process
you
going.
made a
so-
phone call and I went, did I drop the ball somewhere? And I literally
And there's no
called
need
the
to
town hall.
apologize. I'm just here because I'm concerned about, most of the time, the people that are swimming at the boat
I
ramp
understand.
are young children of people who probably don't pay a lot of attention to the kids. So that, and I see it firsthand.
I'm
So,
apologizing because I always respond.
it's okay.
And if I missed it, then it
Totally
bothers
okay.
me probably more than it bothers you. Okay,
Okay.
so that's where it stands right now. And in terms of timeline, I don't know. I know that Becky and Eileen are working hard to get this. I think we're toward the end
Okay.
of having the 142. What I can say to you is maybe we can facilitate and have one of the Parks and Rec be one of the first ones
Okay.
that we look at in terms of revision.
I think that would be nice.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's would be an issue.
Okay.
Yes.
And, David, just to stress, I know sometimes we think that it's easy just to throw an ordinance together and do it, but we really can't just throw an ordinance together saying no swimming at the boat ramp. Because what's the boat ramp? 50 feet down, are they going to jump in the water off of the trees or, I guess you got to kind of word it properly and then have the town attorneys look at it too and say, okay, yeah, that's enforceable and that's legal. So-
And those were questions that Park and Rec brought up too, we're gonna say there's no fishing, it's just adopting what state boat ramp rules do. That's really, we're not trying to look at doing anything new, it's just adopting what state boat ramp rules are, because that's best practice.
And personally, I agree with you. I don't think they need to swim at the boat ramp.
Yeah.
So I'm.
Especially if we have Wasserman
I
Park.
support that.
Yeah, so,
Right.
okay,
Okay.
thank you very much.
You're very
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
No problem. Any other comments from the public? Seeing none, there are no recommendations, resignations, or retirements. Appointments. Susan Lee, come on down. Annual review with the Economic Development Citizen Advisory Committee, submitted by Ed Cack, Chair Susan Lee. Per Town of Merrimack Charter, Section 6-6, at least annually, there should be an annual review with the Economic Development Citizen Advisory Committee. This agenda item is to highlight the committee's significant actions, current projects, anticipated actions, and to raise any concerns that council should know or could act on. And before I open it up to the floor for you, I'd like to read a letter, and where did I put it? From Tim Thompson about the committee.
Uh-oh.
Here it is. A special thanks to the Economic Development Citizen Advisory Committee for their input and guidance on the development of the Merrimack Development Guide for the staff of the Community Development Department, in particular from Planning and Zoning Administrator Jillian Harris, the primary author of the guide, which she used as her final project in completing the UNH Cooperative Extension's Economic Development Academy. EdCact helped to inspire this guide, and their feedback helped to improve the document so that we can better assist property owners and developers with the review process. Tim Thompson, Community Development Director. So those are kudos to the EdCAC that
Yes, I should get a
One-
copy of that letter and read it to the committee members next month.
I can give this to you before you,
That would be
in
great.
fact, I can
That would be great.
pass it.
I think they'd be really appreciative
pass this
of
on?
hearing that.
So having said that, it's a nice way to start the
Yeah,
presentation.
it is. It is lovely.
So go right ahead.
Thank you for having us here and supporting the committee and the work they do. This past year, we started off the year working off of our shortened or truncated meeting schedule and wound up on numerous occasions voting to meet more frequently. So that was a good thing. I think when we were last here, or when I was last here talking to you, we were in the middle of designing a business survey to get some input from our local businesses about things that we might do. We didn't get as many responses as we would have liked, but we did get some interesting information. The key being that many businesses out there, or even residents, are not aware of all the services that are available to them that they could find on the website. And so that sort of guided us in our next project, which was to look at the economic development content on the website, which was originally drafted by the EdCAC in 2009. And then when there was the changeover from one website design to the new one that we have now, Tim had ported all that over and made a few changes of his own. But we took a look at it again, and the general consensus of the committee was that it wasn't as user-friendly as it might be. There were many, many choices that didn't of links to click on that didn't necessarily indicate what you would find if you clicked on it. So we spent several months, as a matter of fact, we're still working on coming up with final recommendations on how to reorganize the web information so that if someone comes on and looks at it, they'll say, oh, this is where I need to go, and rather than having to click through multiple times, condense the information so one click gives them a little more information so that they can go on their way. So that's what we've been focusing on a lot, and part of it was driven by the business survey that we had conducted. The other thing was, because we noticed that people were not aware of what was available to them, once the website has been updated, we'd like to start considering holding some workshops and inviting people in to go through what is available there. We've already spoken to Laurel Bastani, who is the president, I'm sorry, Laurel, of the Regional Economic Development Center in Rockingham. They're not in Rockingham anymore either, are they? They're in Pelham, I think. I didn't prepare very well tonight.
Well, nobody's
anyway,
going to correct you here because
okay,
you know more
so,
than we
but,
do.
It's the Economic Development Center that Merrimack is part of. And so they have lots of information and services for small businesses. They can help find you mentors and things like that. So she would be willing to come and help us put on a workshop. We would invite Tim to come in and cover the things that he thinks are important. And we would, go through, if you're looking at Merrimack as a place to expand your business, this is the information that you can find just by going on the website. So it would be an educational type thing. So that is sort of our future plans once we finish with our final recommendations for changes to the economic development portion of the website. Last November, we also had one guest speaker, which was more for general educational knowledge and, again, awareness of our changing society and how our communities are changing and things that we might want to start looking at now rather than waiting until there's a problem. We had David Priest, who is the Executive Director and CEO of the Southern New Hampshire Planning Commission, and he gave us a little presentation having to do with age-friendly and livable communities. And so we invited people in. We had several members of the public and other committees here in town came to listen to the presentation, and just get you start thinking of what types of things might help as we're looking towards planning into the future. it sort of coincided with the planning board's presentation on safe streets and how to open up the center of your community so that you can have you can have parking, you can have biking, you can have more walking. And so those two things kind of go hand in hand with the livable communities. And one of the interesting things was that David was telling us oftentimes the things that our young people are looking for are the same things that our older residents are looking for, so they can kind of tie in together, that feeling of community and small changes that can be made. Some of them are big changes and they'd have to go through new ordinances or something, but there are little changes that can be made. And other than that, we, like most of the other committees in town, are always looking for new members. We had Don Shepard, who was the previous president of the Merrimack Chamber of Commerce, decided to go off on an adventure and teach English in Thailand. And so we lost our representation from the Chamber of Commerce, which was unfortunate, but hopefully we'll be able to make that up shortly. And Doug Dowell, who'd been on the committee for 9 years, as a matter of fact, I believe you gave him his certificate of appreciation. Thank you. I was going to say
That's
participation. Doug was a fabulous committee member. We're really going to miss him, but he's found a new passion to follow, and so we wish him all the best in that. And so if anybody's out there and they would like to join us, we'd be happy to have new members. And I guess that's about it. That kind of.
It's funny, one of the suggestions, Finley, we were interviewing this past week for applicants to the committee. And a suggestion came up, which I think we're probably going to try to work on, I know that on the cable we have the listing of where the vacancies are, but we should really have a cable presentation, where it be me or whoever, combination probably, where we really talk to the chairs of the committee and have a presentation, short one. This is the EdCAC, this is when it was started, this is what we do, this is when we meet, blah, 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 and do that for all of the committees and boards. A little bit more personal. A lot of times people will say, oh, planning board, there's an alternate position. I don't know anything about that. Well, if you were able to listen to a 5-minute conversation, and during that conversation, you don't have to be trained. We'll do the training. Alternate position is great because those kinds of conversations and what is the commitment in that. It might help with the volunteer.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think we've sort of had similar conversations among our committee members of what we could do to try to let people know what we have had people come to us, and we always try to meet with them, face to face over coffee or something, and kind of go over the things we've done in the past and the things we might be looking at in the future. Sometimes with our committee it's a little hard because there isn't any really fixed goal.
Which is what you talk about.
It's a little more ephemeral, but we kind of sometimes go this way and sometimes go that way. But I think sometimes if we have people would just stop in and participate in a meeting, it would really help. That's the other thing.
People don't realize that they can just drop in with no agenda and just sort of listen. So I think it's something that all of us in the near future maybe we'll probably talk about, and the council representatives and the various committees will be involved in that. So, okay, any questions for Susan or comments? Anyone? Well, as a member of the community, we represent the community. We want to thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
And what you've done and what you will do.
That's right.
Yes.
I want to thank you because you've been around several years now
Yes.
on that committee, and it's a committee that's kind of had its ups and downs, and you've stuck with it, and I really appreciate it. It sounds like some good things coming up, so just want to say thanks again for everything you've done.
Thank you.
And along with all your help in your group with the Expo,
That's
Fall Expo, too.
Yep. Great bunch of people I get to meet with once a month.
Excellent. Thank you, Sue.
Good feeling. Thanks, Susan.
Thank you.
There is no public hearing. I don't see any state reps here. Town managers report. Kyle.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Merrimack Police Department will be continuing to show a presence on conservation land with patrols and the Merrimack Police Volunteers. And that's all I have tonight.
Oh, boy, we're busy. Okay, the next section. There's no consent agenda. They're going to have to give you more to say, Kyle. No old business. New business, committee appointments. We have several people who have been interviewed and are being presented this evening for appointments. And for those people who are appointed and are present, I will do the oath. We could probably, let me just name the listing, and then we can talk about a motion. Cynthia Glenn has applied to be a full member of the Conservation Commission. Gina Rosati, an alternate member of the Conservation Commission. Hillary Bard, hopefully I said that correctly, full member of Parks and Recreation Committee. Lynn Christensen, full member of the Planning Board. Michael Redding, full member of the Planning Board. Lynn Christensen, also a full member of the Zoning Board of Adjustment. And Leonard Worcester, full member of the Zoning Board of Adjustment.
Move approval.
I'm sorry? Yes, Jackie.
Mike Bover got left off the list, a full member
Oh.
of the Conservation. Oh, thank you. Mike Bover.
No, he's going to be on the next, because his name has to be on the list in order to have it posted ahead of time.
Sorry.
That's why it's not on that, it's the only,
Okay.
okay? So yes, he's going to be on to the next one, and is he presently a member?
Yes.
So he can function still as a member until the official appointment
Okay.
during the next.
Very
It
good.
was only a matter of officially being posted, his name was not on the posting, so there wasn't enough time.
Okay.
So, yes.
Also, Gina Rosati was interested in a full membership as opposed to an alternate.
And
there
there's a
was that-
position?
Right here. You even
Okay, so
noticed
that's a
that.
correction then to
Yes.
this? Okay, I'll make that correction right now. And let me
I looked
get-
up earlier and didn't see you there, and then all of a sudden.
And let me give the paperwork here. The paperwork does say full member. The
Yeah.
list doesn't say full member. My apologies. Okay, so Bill Boyd has a motion to accept as presented. The correction, however, Gina Rosati being a full member, not a alternate. Do I have a second? Finley Rothaus? Any discussion?
Yeah, very quickly, Madam Chair, we got some new names, and we've got some familiar names, and I certainly want to express my gratitude to all of them for stepping up to serve in these important positions, and to say welcome to the new members of the respective committees, especially Gina, who we're familiar with from our days of that shall remain nameless. Very happy that you're stepping up to get involved, so
Yeah,
appreciate it.
absolutely. I have been. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, 6-0-0. Now, if Gina and Hillary are both here, is that correct? You both want to come up, and I'll do the oath. In the meantime, you guys can be sitting on that.
Yeah, no, very good.
Hillary, hi, nice to meet you. I'm going to give this to you for the moment. I'm going to give this. Now, what you're both going to do is read this together, and obviously you'll be doing it to this time. You'll be doing your individual committee, and then each guy on the side. So you can both come up to the microphone so everybody can hear at the same time. Okay, so you can say aye.
I, Hillary Baird, do solemnly swear and sincerely swear that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent on me as a full member of the Parks and Recreation Committee, according to the best of my abilities, agreeable to the rules and regulations of this Constitution and laws of the state of New Hampshire, so help me God.
Very good.
Sign the paper. You have to sign your life away now. So if you can sign right there.
Stuck in my for 3 years last time I did that.
I'll sign this one. Congratulations, Gina. Again, thank you.
Thank you.
For your time. Thank you for your interest.
Yes, you're welcome.
Congratulations, ladies. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll sign these. Okay, on to the next. We'll be doing signatures while we're waiting. You can stop that. I'll finish the bottom later. Okay, 217, the Most of Merrimack presentation, formerly Business Expo Fall Festival, submitted by Merrimack Chamber of Commerce President Melissa Bard Sullivan. Town Council to be presented with the details of the upcoming 2017 The Most of Merrimack event scheduled for Saturday, September 30th. Good evening, Melissa. Welcome. And you can go right ahead and start your presentation.
Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you tonight, and I'm here on behalf of David Shaw, who's unable to be here. It seems like that happened last year too, right?
I think so.
We had Don Shepard in, right? So I'm the new Merrimack Chamber of Commerce president, so it's a pleasure to be here.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, and I'm enjoying every minute of serving the Merrimack community. As in past years, the Chamber is very excited to partner in the presentation of the annual Fall Festival, and I'm here this evening to ask for your formal approval of this year's event. We propose to conduct this event on Saturday, September 30th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the James Mastrocola Upper Elementary School. The school and its grounds would be used for the event, which we've done in the past, and this year we plan to rebrand it and call it the Most of Merrimack, the 11th Annual Fall Festival. So we have some preliminary marketing materials, and you'll have to tell me if I can't make the town's logo like a brown color. So we have some preliminary marketing for you. The event, of course, will feature family fun, business-to-consumer events and classes, and some new twists on comfort foods. We're hoping to host a macaroni and cheese baking contest and showcase some of the many businesses that represent the best that Merrimack has to offer. We're hoping to recruit some food trucks in here as well. We're proposing the same vendor pricing as last year, $75 per table for the inside, $35 for outside tables. And for the ease of accounting purposes, the Chamber will once again provide online signups and accept payments. We're happy to handle the accounts receivable and payable for you. All vendors have the opportunity to sign up on the Chamber website, and we'll also do an event-specific website with a link back to the payment page off the Chamber website to keep all our accounting square. So we do plan to limit 2 to 3 vendors per industry, especially for the home-based businesses, in an effort to provide a high-quality and variety event for all, enjoyable for the vendors as well as the public. As in the past, we're excited to collaborate with the town, and we once again ask that you consider donating $350 to the Merrimack Chamber of Commerce to cover our chamber bookkeeping services. The event is starting with $1,710 in funds, which will be used to book entertainment and assist in marketing, especially with Facebook promotion. So if you approve tonight, we'll move forward with the planning and the publicity of the event immediately. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Excellent.
Do you have any questions for me?
Questions? Finley?
I'm just happy that somebody's picking up and carrying on. It's,
Right.
we appreciate all the effort that it will take.
Thank you. Yes, I've heard. I thought I was on the ADAC committee, but I
Oh,
guess.
the academy, no.
Oh, we have to discuss that
She
because
took
you're
back
not
the
you don't live in
invitation.
Merrimack.
No, I don't. I don't live
So
in
that
Merrimack.
is in a future, that's going to be a future topic of discussion.
But we
Because
do
she's the
want you,
president,
Melissa. We
and
do want you
they-
to
Good,
come
And the
good. All
bylaws
right. Well, maybe I could just
mention
be a
that they have to be
guest.
a resident, so we'd have to do an
Right.
exception.
I could be a guest.
We'll,
happy
we'll
with that.
we'll discuss it.
Okay.
It was brought to our attention, but, yes,
Great.
Bill, and then Jackie?
I was just going to say, Melissa, I think the mac and cheese contest is, I'm serious, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have
I
some
really
fun with that.
appreciate you putting your own, and the other people that are helping you out begin to put your own fingerprints on something that's been a very positive event in our community. So thank you to you and everybody else, and like I
Very
said, the mac and cheese cook-off, I think that's a great idea.
Maybe we're going to have
Really
some
do.
fun. So I'm going to leave you with my business cards this evening.
Excellent.
You know how to get in touch with me, okay?
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and good luck. Oh, I'm sorry, Dan, I'm sorry.
There was a question about $350, so I didn't know whether that had to be addressed now or later. I thought she had said something about
$350.
requesting the town pay for $350 for their accounting. Did I miss something?
Approval, yeah, correct.
Oh,
So she
You
did
have
say-
to be able to come up and
I
say,
didn't, so she did say that,
why don't you
right?
come back and
Okay.
just ask for clarification if you would, Melissa?
So I didn't know if we needed to have a motion to say yes,
Okay, I missed something.
or no.
I missed something. Where does it say that? Oh, she mentioned it, you said.
Yeah.
Okay, could you repeat the,
Were you requesting $350 in funds from the town to
Just from
handle
the
an
event.
expense? Because if you are, then we need to formally
Vote on that?
vote on it, right?
Okay. Yeah, typically, we're just looking to recoup the expense that we pay with the bookkeeping services over the time period of the planning of the event and then the after.
was that done last year?
No, we did ask this year, and David didn't see a problem with it, but I brought it to your attention.
Oh, okay.
It would be
Okay.
new.
Now,
I
we'd
think-
have to figure, we
Yeah, no,
probably should ask Paul.
I
What
think
is
so.
the
I guess
logistics of it?
I'm just asking because she's making it formal, so it just makes me want to ask questions about, as a founding member, along with other people in town, Dave McCray, Phil Straight, and Mike Malzone, I want to mention, first of all, I want to thank you for, I think rebranding it is a great idea.
Yeah.
As a lot of us had just got burnt out over several years of doing it, we gladly were, David Shaw picked up the torch and carried it on, and now the Rotary, not the Rotary, Chamber of Commerce, over the last couple of years has picked up and helped out, and again, thank you very much. The school's obviously making their donation by giving you the time, or they're charging you, so it's not a donation, and now you're asking for the $350. I would just say, I support it, I guess. It sounds like a weak endorsement. It's just that I know if you're charging $75 for all the applicants, there should be enough funds in there, I think, along with running the organization, running the event, that you're paying for other things to come in, entertainment, food, whatever all that is. Is the $350 really necessary? I mean, are you feeling like you're short funds?
For the chamber? We
for-
didn't receive any monies from the event last year. We held the monies for you. That's all we do.
Right, but you have an expense ledger too. You get in all the fees from the thing, and then you're charging for music. The vendors aren't
we
coming
pay those
voluntarily.
out. Right.
So that's what I'm asking. Do you feel like the $350 is something you vitally need for us to come up with, or I would make a suggestion, maybe donating if you're short, like if you spent too much on the entertainment, the petting zoo, whatever events that you bring in. How do you know you're going to be short $350?
I don't think she was.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. I'm
Right.
looking
I'm
to.
totally confused now.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Clarification.
because the chamber hires a bookkeeper.
Right.
So I'm just looking at keeping her hours clean from what chamber business is and what our commingled event is. That's all. So I'm looking to reimburse the chamber for
So
the use
you
of her
are asking
services.
the town for $350?
I don't think so. I think she's talking.
Out of the net
It'll be coming
revenues.
out of the revenues that they bring in.
Yeah.
It will show up this year as a line in their budget.
It'll be considered an expense.
Right,
Yeah.
it's
And I
another.
think they're asking for money tonight from
Right,
us to do
right.
it.
No, I'm
The
just
money
looking
that
to
comes
cover the
in,
expenses.
Like you said, you pay for music.
Right.
That would be one of the payments they'd make to
It'll show up this
themselves.
year where it had
And
been.
it's- Okay, so I guess they have to formally ask us?
No,
if
she's
that's
just letting
okay?
us know. I think you were just
I
letting
was
us
just
know.
being polite.
Yeah, just letting us know that
Okay.
if
Well,
it's going to
knock
be.
that
See, I'm
off.
not used to that, so that's why I was very confused.
I thought your parents raised you better.
Oh, they
than
raised
that,
me
Mr.
fine.
Dwyer.
They did. No, it's other people.
I'll still say it, the former juvenile delinquent.
But I think it's probably worth talking to Paul McCallie and see if there's any reason. Just
Sure. It wasn't a request for money from us.
No, I mean,
That's the way
we'll
you-
continue to do
that's
it.
the way you
We're not
do it.
looking to
This is-
create a hardship or anything. We're just looking to cover our
This is an
costs.
additional line item, it's for them to figure out.
Right, I'm sure it's fine, but.
I guess.
It's just an approved expense.
Yeah.
Is it an approved expense is my only question.
Okay.
And you have to sign that, there you go. Okay, that was clarified. But it
Okay,
was
good.
worth, Dan, it was worth bringing it
Okay.
up.
All right, thank you.
Because if you were confused, thank you, Melissa.
Oh, you're very
Appreciate it.
welcome.
Melissa, thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
Oh, Nancy,
Yes.
I just wanted to add, what a fun event that is, It attracts people from all over southern New Hampshire, and I'm grateful to them for doing it.
Agreed. Okay, next, donation acceptance for Parks and Recreation Department, Mr. Matthew Kasparius. And are those your children sitting next to you? Town Council to consider the acceptance of a donation of labor for the Parks and Recreation Department from the Rotary Club of Merrimack to perform 2 volunteer projects for improvements to Wasserman Park with a value of approximately $3,500 pursuant to RSA 31:95-E, RSA 31:95-B, and Charter Article 8-15. Good evening, Matthew. Yes.
I'd like to make a motion.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to accept in acceptance of a donation of labor for the Parks and Recreation Committee Department from the Rotary Club of Merrimack to perform 2 volunteer projects for improvements to Wasserman Park with a value of approximately $3,500 pursuant to RSA 31:95-E, RSA 31:95-B, and Charter Article 18-15.
Second.
Motion made by, you took my pen. Motion made by Dan Dwyer, second by Jackie Flood. Just a real quick question. Could you mention the names of the people who are going to be doing the volunteer work to give them recognition? Before we do a final vote and end it?
Tom Riley.
Oh,
I was
okay.
gonna
Tom
say
Riley
that
was
as well.
the
Tom Riley was
electrician.
the electrician and the Rotary Club member who volunteered his time for this project.
Perfect. And that is what's worth their $3,500.
Yeah.
Okay.
The total project was lights and labor was $3,500. Thanking Milford Electrical Supply of Milford for their materials, as well as Granite City Supply, who helped as well from Nashua.
Perfect.
And I think Rick Crawford as well.
Yeah, he'll be one of them. So there's 2 pieces to this. The first one is obviously replacing all the old light fixtures in the function hall and converting them to LED lights. Our current fixtures are original to the building. Half of them, the covers are broken and can't be replaced because they don't make them anymore. And so that's the first piece of it. And then the other piece of it is they're looking at adopting one of our kind of last cabins that really needs some rehab and fixing up kind of cabin
Nice.
interior and exterior.
Perfect. Okay, so we have a motion by Dan Dwyer, seconded by Jackie Flood. Discussion about what that included. Any other questions before we vote?
Just a comment.
Finley?
I like the Adopt a Cabin program. I
Yeah.
think that's a wonderful idea. And shame on us for not thinking about that earlier. But,
Well, good on Matt.
Good, very good. And please pass on our appreciation, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yes, Pete?
Matt, just, are we gonna put a little something up there saying on the cabin for the Rotary?
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none? 6-0-0. Excellent. You can stay right there for the next one, right? I'm sorry, Dan.
I'd like to make a motion.
Well, can I read it?
Okay, sorry.
Donation acceptance for Parks and Recreation Department. Town Council to consider the acceptance and expenditure of a donation from the Merrimack Friends and Families to the Parks and Recreation Department in the amount of $840 to be used towards the Natticook Scholarship Fund pursuant to RSA 31:95-B and Charter Article 8-15.
So moved.
Motion by Dan Dwyer, second
Second.
by Jackie Flood. And any specifics on that, we should, well, obviously thanking the Merrimack Friends, and this is, the scholarship fund is for those
That can't otherwise afford to go to camp.
for the camp.
So we work in conjunction with the welfare department, and they identify those most in need. And in this case, this would allow 4 individuals or for to go to camp.
Perfect, perfect.
Very nice.
That's the information. And they do that every year.
They do.
Okay, any questions of Matt?
Just wanted to
Yes,
stress
Dan.
that it was Merrimack Friends and Family making that donation. one of the great organization in town that constantly making donations for very worthy causes throughout our community.
You're absolutely right. Excellent.
I want to thank Julie Akers and Nicole Cusimano for their leadership and being able to work with their volunteers to be able to do this kind of thing. I think it's wonderful. So thank you.
Excellent. Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. 600. Excellent. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Okay, last, donation acceptance for the Merrimack Conservation Commission. Gage, you're here. Submitted by Conservation Commission Chair Gage Perry. Town Council to consider the acceptance of a donation from Paper Graphics for the waiving of printing fees in the amount of approximately $815.55 for printed maps for the Merrimack Conservation Commission pursuant to RSA 31:95-B and Charter Article 8-15.
So moved.
You want to so move? We're going to ask you for specifics. Okay, Dan Dwyer, motion, second.
Second.
Jackie Flood. And why don't you take a minute and talk about
Yeah,
what
it's
this
just,
is?
you should have all been sent the quote from Paper Graphics.
Yep.
There was it was a little confusing. We initially asked for 750 maps of each. We figured that's going to be a little bit over a year's supply. We don't really know how many we've given away because we've printed, the school's printed some, we've printed some. This is going to be kind of a first pass. Paper Graphics suggested that perhaps we go to 1,000 each because it's round numbers for them, so they don't have to cut into half stock. So there's two prices on there: the 850 and the 967. So it's probably going to end up being the 1,000-piece price, just for clarification purposes. That's why you put that on the quote.
Okay, so it's actually going to be 967?
Up to that value, yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the motion should read approval up to, is that correct?
That'd be correct.
Up to $967.60.
Yes.
Okay? Just make sure that that's clear when the motion is typed up. Okay.
You should have all received a copy of the PDFs, an email.
And it's a win-win.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. We're very happy with the maps. There are only 4 properties right now. There's some more properties, obviously, as we keep going and making more subcommittees. These maps are only going to grow. But this was a great point to get them all into a common format.
Exactly.
So when people look at them, they have a kind of sense of feel for each one.
And
So-
Paper Graphics offered this.
Yes.
And we have to deal with it as a donation because it truly is.
Correct.
Right. Peter?
Gage, you sent us the PDFs, which I appreciated.
Yes.
Are they going to be on the website, so if somebody went to the Conservation Commission, they could look at that and download it?
They'll be on the Merrimack Outdoors website,
Okay.
and they'll also, the merrimackoutdoors.org website, that's the Conservation Commission website. It's on a Facebook page. That's a different, not associated with us, but, and they'll also be on the NRPC website. We've made them available to the public, so, and on the maps themselves, there's a QR code, which is that small little square, so anybody can, take a picture of it with their phone and get the interactive map right on their phone directly. So these are completely public.
Very cool. Bill?
They're dynamite. These maps are dynamite, so I hope people take advantage of it because, hey, anybody can get lost in small circumstances.
Yes.
But that being said, I think the work that's been done, really, really top shelf.
Great.
Being able to find the trails, be able to connect, great work. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you for bringing it forward, and thank you for Paper Graphics
Yeah,
for
thank you.
cooperating. Okay, we have a motion on the table, again, up to the 900, I want to make sure I have the correct amount of money, $967.60. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. 600. Thank
Great.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gage.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Gage.
Do you mind if I-
Okay,
do you mind if I
approving the
steal cards?
minutes. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Do you mind if I steal one of the cards?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We didn't see a thing.
Thank you.
Approving the minutes of the meeting from June 22nd, 2017.
Madam Chair, move the Thursday, June 22nd, 2017 Town Council meeting minutes. The following modifications.
Motion made by Bill Boyd, and he's going to make recommendations.
Page
for
1, line 45.
8,
Page 1,
page 1, I'm sorry.
line 45. It reads that there is a fair amount of roadbed fines that have washed away. I have no idea what roadbed fines are.
Would it be lines?
Kyle would know.
Kyle,
Roadbed fines, is it the sifted?
show him. Oh, so it is accurately,
Yes.
oh, it is such a thing.
Okay,
It's a template.
Oh, so it's not a typo after all, but it is clarified.
okay, I appreciate it, thank you.
Thank God Kyle was here, because if Paul was here, he wouldn't know it.
Page 2,
I knew
page
what it
2,
was.
Did you?
I did.
I'm sorry,
I
page
That's
don't know
2.
why, but I did.
We're losing it, it's been short, go ahead.
page 2, line 5. Meeting house should be meeting house.
Bingo.
Page 2, line 47. It reads appropriation comment and was informed they, he does not, period. Change that so that it reads that they do not, so that it is grammatically
So
correct.
noted.
Page 5, line 6. I'm sure Captain Albert, now Counselor Albert can confirm that Ed Payne is P-A-N-E, not Y-N-E.
That's correct.
So noted.
Thank you. Page 8, line 22. It should not be mixed hyphen used, it should be mixed use.
Noted.
And lastly, page 13, lines 35 and 36, just to clarify on how Counselor Koenig voted. If he voted in opposition, it should be 6-1-0. If he abstained, it should reflect that he abstained in the
That is,
motion.
that is correct. So it should be 610, not 601.
Okay. That's all I had, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Excellent. You wanted to second, Mr. Dwyer? Second. Dan Dwyer, second. Are there any other revisions or changes? Seeing none. All those in favor of the minutes as corrected, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none. 600. Comments from the press. We'll have to line them up. Comments from the public also. None. Comments from the council. Yes, Bill.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Just very quickly, now that we're in the summer months, and obviously if people have been paying attention with Gage here tonight and Matt Kasparius here, we have a lot of good things going on with our parks this summer. I hope that people would take the opportunity to take advantage of Lossom Greater Woods, Wildcat Falls, Horse Hill, Watson and Abbey Griffin, with some of the programming that Parks and Rec is going on. If you're looking to stay local, but you want to get away from your house, I mean, we've got some great trails right here in our own community, and the council and guys like Tim Thompson and Kyle Fox have been working hard, you know, on a daily basis to make sure that we have these particular amenities in our community to make our quality of life the best that it can be. So if you're idle on a given day and you're looking for something to do, stay local, take advantage of some of the local parks, go for a hike. You'll never know what you might bump into, and you'll find out that you'll bump into some interesting little critters in these particular areas. So anyway, that's all I got. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Peter?
I just want to reiterate, Madam Chair, what you said at the beginning of the meeting. I can't say enough about how the DPW, the police department, how it was all coordinated when the Amherst Road culvert collapsed on such short notice, and that affected quite a bit of people, and I was very impressed, and my hat's off to the DPW and the police department and the town in general and the citizens for working with everybody in handling this situation. Who would have known such a little section of road could be a choke point? So, thank you again.
Exactly. Anyone else? Finley?
I have to say happy anniversary to my dear bride.
To your bride.
Yes.
Happy anniversary to the two of you.
It's early meeting, so we're good.
I have nothing to say. Dan?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion to adjourn by Dan Dwyer, second by Jackie Flood. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
600.
I'm opposed.
Good night, everyone.